Matt Spiegel, why are you not watching the game tonight?
Why are you broken?
I mean, look, Lawrence Holmes has been here for a while. He's been withstanding me as I hunt for potential positives, as I stand there kind of wondering what they're doing. And now it's just so clear. They're just throwing crap at the wall and trying to extend their time at a job they don't deserve. Screw these guys, man. They are just trying to get younger and give themselves another couple of chances at luck and lottery because that's the plan and that's the hope.
But are they giving themselves another chance at luck and lottery? Because I don't think that's what's even happening.
No, because they're not good at it. Because they waited too long to get rid of now 7 different assets and only get 1 first-round pick back, and it's your own. They waited too damn long so they could chase mediocrity, and they got it, and they had their mediocrity, and maybe that's going to help them keep their jobs, and now they're just trying to get younger, and this stuff doesn't make sense.
It's worse than what you just said, though. You know why?
I don't know. What I said is pretty bad.
But let me tell you why it's worse. Because they're not even chasing.
You're the one who's been telling me why it's better.
Well, listen. No, I told you why to watch. I told you why to watch. This is something different. What we're talking about now is different. I can't control what the front office and ultimately ownership decides they want to do. And what they want to do right now is fill up the building. That's never been disputed. That is the goal. Filling up the building is above winning. But what I will say is this. I thought that, okay, we're looking at a tank of some kind coming into today based on the moves that they had made. Some of them anyway. Now I understand they have taken what could have been a chance to say we're going in a different direction and said, we're not. We're going to play a shell game and we're going to replace the likes of, 3 of your top 4 scorers and replace them with other guys who can score the basketball, get a little bit better rim protection, and see if we can't get up higher in these play-in standings.
You think they're actually going to try to get higher in the play-in standings?
Did you see the last move they
just
just made, the last trade they made? They traded for Nick Richards. Nick Richards is a serviceable big who can run the floor, who can also offer a lot more rim protection than Nikola Vucevic. Last I checked, Anthony Simons is a better offensive player than Kobe White. Colin Sexton is a more than capable rotation player on any team, and that's even a good team. They didn't move any of those guys that I just mentioned.
So you think it's not a tank? It's not. They're not even tanking for this year because it's hard to get down to the bottom because they've waited so damn long.
They're not tanking. I'm here to tell you, they are not tanking. They are about to go forth and try to get as far up these standings as they can. And at 3:30, we'll find out for real because he'll be at the mic answering questions, and I guarantee you, the word compete will be in that press conference.
Man, oof.
That's worse than you thought, isn't it?
That is even worse.
Yeah.
That is even worse.
You're really not watching the game tonight.
I mean, no, I'm not.
How do you feel about
watching
this Caribbean series game we got?
I enjoy that. I'll enjoy that.
Puerto Rico versus Panama. Let's get it.
I love a good Caribbean series game.
The Ayo trade kind of broke me, man.
Okay, so let's talk about the Ayo trade specifically.
Okay, I was going to talk about it.
Go.
Let me talk about it first, okay? And then you can tell me. You can redirect, okay? You hit on Ayo Dosunmu. You hit. That is an organizational win. Of one of the highest orders. You hit on a second-round pick. You turned into a guy that you want to extend and create something with, potentially, or spin him off and get something from that. And he's a wonderful story as well and all of that. It's a hit. It's an organizational hit. And you haven't won a damn thing with him, and now you've tossed him up for what? The chance that Rob Dillingham is something briefly? You tossed him off for essentially nothing, and Minnesota fans are laughing in your face, and your fans who've I was talking to a guy who's a dad of a 13-year-old who loves Ayo and loves Kobe, has actually done what you've asked and invested in them and given them a chance and fallen for them, and now you've tossed them off for what exactly? It doesn't seem like freaking anything, just to extend your own time horizons. You can keep a freaking job you don't deserve.
Matt, I'm on the record. Ayo is the guy they should have re-signed. Here's why. Not because of all the things you just said, although those are great reasons, but because once you have him on a new contract, you got to have players like that you can trade away when you do want to bring in the superstar, because you got to be ready for the next disgruntled superstar. The problem with the era that we're in with Arturas Karnisovas in year 6? Am I right with that? Yeah. So at any point when a star has become disgruntled, they have not been in position to give them anything for the star. And that's to me, the ultimate issue. You're not going to get one of the top 20 players in basketball doing the things the way they've done things.
No. They have no kind of plan to come up with that. And the NBA, it's so clear that's what you need. You need a star and you need an architect in the front office, and they don't have either. And they still don't have either, and they won't have either unless they get lucky somehow, some way. And I know it's hard to do. Teams in the NBA, like, they turn over all the time. People switch plans all the time. They pivot, they make wild moves and swings because you got to try something. They don't try anything, and this is a continuation of not trying anything.
I don't agree that this feels like a push for the play-in. This still feels like a teardown to me. They may package it as we still want to be competitive and our North Star is getting into that play-in. Because I don't agree that Nick is a better player than Vooch. But I think that they're trying to tear all of this stuff down and still keep us on the hamster wheel of, well, we're going to be competitive and we want to be competitive every night. Partly because their building is full. And they would never tell us with their building being full, don't come to our building because we're actually not trying to win. It's one of those problems that teams will often get themselves into because do you want to win and make money, or do you want to make money? In a situation where you can't win, then the best thing organizationally for them is to make money. And they're not in a position to do. And the thing is about, like, I appreciate you wanting them to try and get a superstar via trade, but I don't know that this particular group is going to be able to do it. And
they can't, because they don't move fast enough to get real assets, and then once they have to move things, they take whatever the hell they can get player-wise and asset-wise. They're not stocked to do anything. They have 14 second-round picks right now.
And unfortunately, since the end of the Jordan era, this just bless you, Layla. This just hasn't been a destination for anyone. So I do think that some of this is the way that we look at it through the prism that with those of us who live in Chicago and look and go, man, this should be a destination. It's clearly not. And if the city itself is not going to be able to sell itself, okay, and times change, people want different things out of life, then you have to build and grow your own stars. And what I've been saying about Modest is I think he's good. And I think that he's a player that on a championship team has a role. But the evidence that I would use to tell you that he's not a superstar is the stuff that the two of you were talking about yesterday. How long did you have to wait on Cooper Flagg? You didn't have to wait, did you?
No, you see it right away.
You didn't have to squint. You didn't have to turn your head sideways.
Oh, yeah. No,
even with Concanipple, you haven't had to squint. You haven't had to turn your head sideways. You haven't had to wish cast. None of it.
But, Lawrence, like both of those guys are so far beyond Modest in terms of an overall game and a feel and an ability to do things.
That's the point he's making.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just, that's been incredibly obvious. Look, when Kendall said...
It has not been incredibly obvious. You and I have been talking. You've been telling me that he can grow into a superstar, and I've been telling you I don't see it.
I never said superstar.
So let me,
I said star, and those are different things.
Lawrence,
to me, and grow. He's got a long way to go. Cooper Flagg is put him out there and just let him figure out how to be great as quickly as possible.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I feel that. Can I say, the other part that kind of broke me is when I realized, all right, so they just tossed Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips away as salary filler.
Dalen Terry's now a Pelican.
And he moved again?
Yes.
The Knicks traded him to get Grand
right
Theft
at the beginning of the transition.
So these guys that they told us they knew what they were doing, and they drafted these toolsy dudes who can't shoot, but we're going to make them shoot because we got a great shooting coach. Oh, wait, what happened? We fired our shooting coach because he had too many good ideas, and he was strong in the room, and we can't have that to go against the sweetest leader, revered leader. We can't have that. So we all wasted our time getting to know Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips, learning them and listening to you about them, and then you toss them off as salary filler in your deals. There's nothing trustworthy about these guys.
Well, but with all due respect, what was Dalen Terry ultimately?
Yeah, no.
That's how the rest of the league valued him, and that's my biggest issue is Is a lot of this just putting Band-Aids on the flaws of your trades and then or your drafts and then doubling down on your draft choices?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't good picks. They weren't good picks at all.
Patrick Williams, you drafted him 4th overall, and I tried to look at the whole rather than focus on that for so long. But the problem is it still ended up hamstringing you. The pick of Dalen Terry still ended up hamstringing you. You fought to get Noah Essengay. I hate to say it, but when we're talking about first-round picks being the most valuable thing, and sometimes you might get offered a first-round pick that's way down the line, but that doesn't mean you can't trade it and use it for something else later. I just don't. It'd be one thing if you were telling everybody you were in win now mode. Even the Mavericks, after they traded away Luka, told everybody they needed defense and they were in win now mode. Okay, at least you told people something. But if this is just the constant search for the 9 or 10 best players to fit the bill, I understand wanting to get something in return for these deals, which is better than what they had been doing. Mm-hmm. But just time wasn't on their side, and the drafts haven't been good enough to help.
If Marshall is right that they're going to sell this and legit try to keep competing with Charlotte, who they just gave Kobe White to, and they're going to try to make and tell us that this was a plan to acquire all these guards, this giant pile of guards, and make a thing that works, that'll be really, really pathetic, because it will still be not picking a lane. It'll just be pretending that they did and trying to fill a room again.
A shell game.
Awful.
A shell game.
Well, that's
a shell game. That's what this is. Now, I waited till 2:00. I waited to see, okay, what are you going to do? What are you going to turn this into? Either they got stuck with the hot potato in their hands when you talk about some of these guards that are on there, or you just literally, like I said, got some new guys to do the thing with Billy Donovan, coaching them through it. And look, Simons is really, really good offensively. He learned how to play defense under Joe Mazzulla. I like him. I do. But at the same time, I can't ignore the fact that what you guys just talked about, whether it's Dalen Terry as a number 18 overall pick, whether it's Julian Phillips.
Was he 12 or 13, Julian Phillips?
Julian Phillips was a second
16.
rounder. He was a second rounder.
Which one was 16? Maybe that
Terry
was
was 18.
Terry was 18. And so when you look at how they got, sent away, and you look at the overall draft profile of Arturas Karnisovas and where those guys are now, outside of the Ayo, which is, he fell to them. I remember being with Ayo down over by
that's a lottery
UIC.
ticket.
They got a lottery ticket with him, and they did develop him. Don't get me wrong, he got better, but I just, it's going to be hard to understand how this pivot works now, because they feel like they're still, I thought they got off the treadmill. They're still on the treadmill.
I'm not sure that their strategy for building a good team actually jibes with what is happening around the league. I think they're probably a couple of rotations behind in that regard.
In terms of being where the league is right now, yeah. Lawrence, I totally agree. And don't you agree that the NBA is about the architect and the star? You're talking about drawing people.
Yeah.
These architects don't have a clue how to function in the way that the league is run right now.
And I know that it's kind of unfair to connect these guys with Sam Presti, but if Sam Presti calls you, don't answer the phone.
Oh, this is some Howie Roseman, same deal.
Don't answer the phone.
Danny Ainge,
because he's figured out his player development and his track record in that, what he values. If he thinks that he can get something from you, he understands the game, and you're going to end up on the bad side of a trade.
To your point, Joel Embiid is so pissed right now because they gave away that kid for just draft picks, and Embiid spoke exactly to wanting to make sure that there's a good enough core around him for now and for the next couple of years. He's furious right now.
It just makes me sad. The Bulls games are NBA games, I should say. NBA games that are held in Chicago are fun to go to. They're a lot of fun to go to. But unfortunately, even if you get a night where the Bulls win, it still feels empty once you get to the parking lot. Because by the time you get to the parking lot, you're like, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And now they're going to lose 4 in a row. Or they're going to lose again to the Pacers. who are the worst team in the league because there is no overall strategy or the overall strategy that the Bulls are using is not going to allow them to actually be competitive. And where I'm at with them, along with the White Sox, by the way, and it's not because they're owned by the same family, it's we continue to allow them to make it look like there's progress where no progress has actually been made. This is sports. You are supposed to win. That's the whole point. And if you're not building towards winning, you're building towards losing.
You're building towards sustaining and just making dollars and surviving and thriving, frankly, because people go to Bulls games. And Lawrence, I think you can connect them, and you can use ownership to connect them. And we can talk it more.
It's different sports.
No,
so,
I know,
but you don't have to.
But it's right there for you because the White Sox got a sweetheart of a stadium deal. They make money. They make money, even if they don't have the attendance that they wish they had, and it's not comparable that way. They, like, in terms of what stadium deals are around MLB and what they got and everything like that, they are making money as they are not winning. And the Bulls are making money as they are not winning. So that's pretty damn comparable.
I'll say this. I can't wait to hear I am interested to hear what Arturas says to defend the actions that have led us to this moment and to figure out where he thinks they are going. I will also say this. There is no one listening to this station or following the Bulls that believes that that man has done a good job. The only person who believes it is Michael Reinsdorf. He's the only one. There's no one else who believes it. There's no evidence that he has done a good job. There's nothing you can point to and say, that is a sign that you're doing a net positive job.
You think Michael really believes it, or is he just stubborn and doesn't want to admit he was wrong? I don't know the answer to that.
It could be either, but I'm just telling you.
The second one's worse.
I think the vitriol for the Bulls is as high as it's been in a while now after all these moves have taken place. And you realize, oh, wait, this isn't even a soft tank. This is just business as usual.
And it's right back to where we were 6 years ago. That's why, like, it just
fire
sucks.
Acme. When's the All-Star game coming again? We need a loud crowd behind a TV set instead of Zach LaVine. Who would like to play that role? Anthony Simons? He's not going to be here long enough, probably. Jaden Ivey, would you like to be the Zach LaVine? Well, I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough. Do they have a guy?
Modest.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey with your accent, Lego.
Oh, and the Modest thing, because you guys were going at it.
I think Giddey be perfect.
I think Modest can be a star, like an all-star. I'm not saying Modest is a generational player. I'm just saying I think he can be an all-star.
But people tanked for years hoping to get Cooper Flagg. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People were like, we're dreaming of that possibility.
Yes, that's a very different conversation.
Yeah.
That's a generational talent type conversation.
Wish Giddey didn't hit the half-court shot.
Then you're nowhere.
That's where they are.
Then you're nowhere.
You nailed it. That's
nowhere.
Exactly where they. That's why I'm not
watching. I saw
watching.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I know how that goes.
That's why I got broken, Lawrence. They're
Nowhere's a good
nowhere.
place.